If you make $100,000 a year, I have some bad news. You're broke. And I'm about to prove it with the actual math. A Reddit post just hit 26,003 upvotes exposing something Americans don't want to admit out loud. The middle class is dead. $100,000 is the new $40,000, and you are not crazy for feeling like your paycheck evaporates the second it touches your account. For decades, $100,000 was the number. The 90s sitcom number. The big house, 2 cars, summer vacation, kids in private school number. But here's what nobody told you. $100,000 in 1990 had the same purchasing power as roughly $252,000 today. Flip that around, and earning $100,000 in 2026 is the buying power of about $40,000 in 1991. You are not living the sitcom dream. You are living a 1991 lower middle class budget while everyone on Instagram tells you 6 figures means you made it. That's the lie. So let's run the actual math. A single person earning $100,000 in California takes home about $66,000 after federal tax, state tax, and FICA. In New York City, it can drop to $65,200. Right off the top, the government took 30% before you saw a dollar. Now subtract rent. A 1-bedroom apartment in San Francisco averaged $3,591 a month in March 2026. That's $43,000 a year. In Los Angeles, Boston, NYC, you are looking at $33,000 to $42,000 just to have walls and a door, then add a car. The average new car payment in 2026 hit $806 a month. 1 in 5 new car buyers now pay more than $1,000 a month. With insurance and gas, you are easily at $13,000 a year just to drive to the job that's barely paying you. Groceries for one person at 2026 prices, $5,400 a year minimum. Student loans, the average payment is now around $503 a month. That's $6,000 a year. Health insurance with an employer subsidy, call it $3,600. Add it all up. After taxes, after rent, after the car, after food, after loans, after insurance, you are left with somewhere between $0 and $6,500 a year for everything else. Savings, retirement, vacations, dating, emergencies, a new pair of shoes on $100,000 a year in 2026. That is why everyone feels broke. Now let's make it worse. If you have a child, the new estimate to raise that kid from birth to 18 is $303,418. That's up 28% in just 3 years. Average infant daycare runs $17,264 a year nationally, and double that in major metros. To buy the median-priced home in America right now, you need a household income of $111,252. In California, only 23% of households can even qualify for a mid-tier mortgage. This is exactly why people on Twitter keep saying they cannot afford to have kids on 6 figures. They are not exaggerating. The math literally does not work. So what does comfortable actually cost in 2026? The Urban Institute pegs basic economic security for a typical family at $145,000 a year. 49% of Americans fall below that threshold. To live what your parents called a normal middle-class life, house, kids, retirement savings, occasional vacation, you now need $185,000 to $230,000. What used to be middle class now requires what used to be upper class. GDP per capita has grown 67% since 1980. Median household income has grown 15%. That gap is not your fault. It is not your budgeting. It is not your avocado toast. It is a structural shift, and nobody warned you it was happening. So how do you actually fight back? 4 moves. Move 1. Geo-Arbitrage. A $100,000 earner in Texas keeps about $8,500 more per year than the same earner in NYC just on taxes. And that's before you factor in cheaper rent. Earn coastal, live inland, and you can free up $20,000 to $40,000 a year. Move 2. House hack. Conforming loan limits hit $832,750 in 2026, which means a duplex with an FHA loan is more accessible than ever. Rent out the other unit or rent out a bedroom and cut your single biggest expense in half. Move 3. Stack income. Your W-2 is taxed before you ever see it, but a side income gives you control over deductions, retirement contributions, and tax structure. Even a few hundred extra a month rebuilds the breathing room the system stole. Move 4. Optimize taxes before you optimize spending. Max your 401k. Max your HSA. A 1% raise gets taxed at 22 to 30%. A $1,000 expense cut is kept at 100%. You cannot budget your way out of a structural problem, but you can root around it. If you make $100,000 and you feel broke, you are not crazy and you are not bad with money. The ground shifted under your feet, the rules changed, and the people who told you six figures meant security were reading from a script written 30 years ago. The middle class is not coming back. But once you accept the math is rigged, you stop playing the rigged game. You stop trying to win the 1991 dream on a 2026 paycheck. You build your own escape route, geo-arbitrage, house hacking, side income, tax optimization, and you claw back the $30,000 to $50,000 a year the old playbook just leaves on the table. Drop your salary and your city in the comments. Let's expose how broken this is in real time. Hit the like button if this validated what you've been feeling. Subscribe because next week I'm breaking down the 5 cities where $80,000 still buys a real life. I'll see you there.